Hi guys. So I was just going through Pinterest. That's what I do for inspiration. And I've realized that some of the artwork out there has this really good gouache effect, and I really wanted to achieve it. I downloaded the gouache brush set from Adobe and I tried out the different brushes. Some blend well, some don't. I tried out different techniques. It turns out that the bigger the brush, the better it blends. Only a few brushes were blending well and I had to figure out which ones, so I did some testing and most of them don't blend well. I'm really surprised because gouache is like that really opaque version of watercolors, and I did expect more from this brush set. But yeah, let's see what we can work with and try to figure out if I can achieve the kind of quality that I'm seeing out there. I started out with a very rough sketch, like, oh god, I look at my line quality in the rough sketch now and I'm just considering my life choices. And but yeah, I try to work my way through, redid it in the next layer, try to not mess with the proportions a lot this time so that I don't have to go back and rework it. One thing that I really tried to take control of in this artwork is line weight and how I manipulate my lines to create this sort of very fluid form. And I was so unsatisfied by how it looked in the beginning, but I kept trying to redo bits here and there, and my main goal was just to manipulate the line weight and make it more fluid and less stiff, because I was going for a very mixed form, not a very stiff solid form, rather something more dynamic. The sketching part was actually fun because I spent most of my time sketching, and I did use a gouache brush for this too. A thing that I realized about this brush set is that when you work with a single brush, it doesn't really feel anything like gouache or paint. It just feels like another random pixel brush, like an ink brush, especially because of how easily I was able to manipulate my line weight. But yeah, the thing is, in gouache brushes digitally, I figured out that the magic actually happens when you start blending the colors together and playing with light and dark and trying to achieve a texture. That's when it starts showing its gouache colors. It always has that opaque feel to it. If you worked with traditional actual paint, you would know what I'm talking about. And digitally, the only difference is it only shows up, it only feels like gouache when you're mixing the colors. So during the line art phase, it just felt like I was working with another thick and thin inking brush. The coloring part was rather easy. This was one of those pieces in which I spent very less time coloring and more time on the line art. gouache brushes in Fresco actually resemble the graphite brush that they have in the collection because it has excellent blending and it was so easy to manipulate pressure and blend colors of not just the same family. I could even blend in contrasts much easier than any other medium. So I think that's one thing I enjoyed about using digital gouache. It was my first time using digital gouache, so I did make plenty of mistakes and it's pretty much all over the place. So I try to make it less perfect and see where it got me towards the end. So after this point, it was basically just me going back in, retouching and doing the same process over and over again. But ultimately, I think after like a lot of rounds of the same process of going back and forth with the same color palette that I picked out, I think I'm really happy with the end result, and I think I will be using this brush set again for my future art pieces. Overall, I really like this gouache brush set that I downloaded, and I'll be using it for my future pieces too. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next week. Bye.